Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. Good afternoon from the beautiful city of Port Harcourt, right here in Rivers State, Nigeria. What an awesome day to be a Nigerian. I don't know if you know the excitement that I'm feeling right now, but this is a good day to be a Nigerian. So who is here with me? Who is ready to learn with me? Who is ready to go on the journey of growth? This is Growth Habits, the habits that will help you to grow in every aspect of life. And I'm your personal guide in this journey. I take you by the hand and I walk the walk with you. I don't leave you and allow you to do the whole thing by yourself. I take you by the hand and I walk with you. So we are here every Tuesday afternoon by 12 noon. Growth Habits with Ngozi, always here. Tuesday, 12 noon. So welcome to today's session. For those that will join on the replay, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm always honored that you choose to spend your time with me, that you choose to take this 30 minutes to 45 minutes of your day and you spend it right here with me on Growth Habits. So welcome. I'm so happy you are here. So as you join, please let me know that you are here. If possible, let me know where you are joining me from. All right, so as usual, we do a quick recap of what we have done so far. And very soon it's going to be very difficult for us to do these recaps. I am seeing that right now we are in session 20. So for me to do a recap of 19 sessions is going to take up a whole lot of time. By the time we are getting to 25 sessions, 30 sessions, it will be almost impossible for me to do a full recap. By then, we'll begin to do recap of the last 5 sessions or something of that nature. So welcome once again to Growth Habits with Ngozi, your personal guide. That's me on the journey of growth. I take you by the hand and we walk this walk together. All right, so a quick recap as we usually do. Our first session, of course, we just did a general introduction. My mouth this morning doesn't want to quite work. Okay, we did a general introduction of what is growth, and we agreed that growth is just a process. It's a journey that we must be on. It's not something that just happens. It's something that we keep working on and we go step by step. Our second session, we talked about the mindset needed to grow. And that is what is called the growth mindset. A mindset that believes that they can. No matter what, I can. No matter the situation, I can. That is what is needed for growth. Third session, we talked about optimizing your daily habits. What habits you do, what are the things you do every day, optimize them. And remember that in order to do this, you must understand who you are. If you don't know who you are, you will not know which habits will work for you. You will not understand how to apply them. Session 4, choose your circle of friends. Because one of the most important things on going on this journey is the people that surround you. If you're aware of what is happening in Nigeria right now, the young lady that did the cookathon, that tried, she broke. She didn't try. She broke the world record for the longest time cooking by an individual. But if you look, you see that she had awesome support system. She had people with her. So your circle of friends is very, very important. The 5th session, we talked about measuring growth. You can't measure what you have no data on. So you have to have data, you have to have information to be able to measure growth. 6th session, we talked about balancing inputs and outputs. And we agreed that one of the most important inputs we need is rest. rest. Being able to rest physically, emotionally, and otherwise. Spiritual rest also is important. 7th session, we talked about coming out of your comfort zone. Nothing grows there. In fact, the session we have today, honestly, in my mind, when I opened my laptop to check what I had recorded, written down as what we will do today, it just aligns with what is happening in the country today. So come out of your comfort zone. Nothing grows there. Nothing. You can't achieve anything in that place of absolute comfort. You need to, struggle a little. I don't even know whether struggle is the word, but you have to have some. There has to be a little bit of shaking for something to grow. Even the seed you plant in the ground does not remain dormant. There has to be some movements for that shoot to come out of the seed and then come out onto the ground. 8th session, we talked about identifying your blind spots. Everybody has them. We all have our areas of weakness that we don't even know we have. We actually don't realize these things exist. So you need people that will point out these blind spots to you, and that the people have to be objective enough to tell you the truth about it, so that you know what to do and how to change those blind spots, those areas of weakness. 9th session, we talked about learning from people who inspire you. Good afternoon, Charity. Welcome. Good to have you here. Okay, so we talked about learning from people who inspire you. And we all have people who inspire us. In fact, like I said, the activities in Nigeria for the past how many days is enough lessons for us. But most of us, we watch those things and we, oh, wow, oh, yeah, we didn't learn anything. Begin to learn from people who inspire you. Don't just be carried away with the euphoria. Okay? So learn from people who inspire you. Session 10, we talked about dealing with difficult people. They will always be there. They will always exist. Everywhere you go, you will meet difficult people. We need to learn to deal with them with knowledge. There's something that is called emotional intelligence. We need to have emotional intelligence and be able to deal with people who are difficult. Session 11 talked about letting go of the past. You can't move far with the baggage of the past on your back. It will weigh you down. So drop it, let go. It doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter who did what. It doesn't matter how painful, how hurtful it was. Drop it so that you can move forward. So let go of the past. We did our Q&A in session 12. We tried to answer some questions. Session 13 and 14, we talked about visualizing your success, being able to see it. Going back, I will give this example of Hilda Bassi throughout today, because what I have today is believe in yourself. Honestly, that is what I had written down 2 months ago that we will discuss today. Believe in yourself. And you can see that it just aligns with what is happening in Nigeria right now. So visualize your success. Be able to see you in that future state. See yourself there. And the ability to see yourself there will help you achieve that success. So that was 13 and 14. In the 15th session, we now try to talk about our businesses a little for those who are into business, and we agree that you have to know your why. Why are you in business? Is it just to make money, or is it to make impact? What is the reason why you are in business? Okay. 16th session, we talked about learning every detail of your business. We had a special guest that came to speak to us that day, and she told us to, in your time of waiting, while you're waiting to blow, as we say in Nigeria, while you're waiting for that your business to take off, learn. Put your, every effort into acquiring skills, so that by the time your time comes, you are not found wanting. I keep going back. Honestly, the activities of Hilda Bassi for the past few days has been something else. She took time. I'm sure it's not today she began to prepare for this cookathon. From what I understand, she started preparing it 4 years ago. For this thing she did in 5 days. So she had prepared for 4 good years. What about you? So in your time of when nobody knows you, when your business is still struggling, prepare yourself, learn, understand every detail of your business. The next session we talked about dedicating yourself to customer service. And we had a guest also that day, and she talked to us about the need to give people an experience. It's not just, oh yes, I ate in or whatever, I dealt with this person and the products I bought from her were good. What feeling did you leave your customer with by the time they left your business? So engage in having good customer experience. People should leave you with a good feeling. Favor, welcome, glad to have you today. All right, then from our session 18, we moved over to talking about our careers. And the first session, we talked about developing a clear sense of direction. And I told us, and we discussed that day, that most of us, we just get a job and we begin to work. We have no direction. We don't understand where we are going in that job. We don't know if there's even a career path at all. And even if we know, we are not bothered about it. But for you to grow in the work environment, you have to know the direction you're heading. Are you heading to become the head of that department? Is that your intention? There is a path that leads to that, and you need to know it and you need to follow it. Okay, now in our 19th session, we talked about doing what you love. And we said that it's not too late. You're already working. Maybe you're not even loving the work you are doing. It is not too late. You can still do what you love, even while doing what helps you make money. Okay, so that was it. A favor. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. All right, so those were the things we talked about from session 1 to 19. And as I told us, our 20th session today, I picked this topic 2 months ago, and it is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. And I just want to tell us that, you see, in this life, you can do it all. There is really nothing that is too difficult. There's really nothing that is impossible, as in can't be done. There's really nothing. It's just that we have not set our mind to doing it, and we don't believe that we can do it. Even when we set our minds to it, we don't really believe deep down that we can do it. So, Hope Rising, welcome. Glad to have you this afternoon. Welcome, welcome. All right, so, see, I tell people, and I also tell myself, so the things I tell people are the same things I tell myself. Good afternoon, Hope. Welcome. Good to have you. And the same things I tell people, the same thing I tell myself. I am awesome. You can't tell me I am not. Honestly, you can't convince me that I am not an awesome person. You can't convince me that I'm not a superstar. Maybe others have not known that I am, but me, I know it. I don't know if you understand me. You can't convince me that I don't know what I am doing. Unless truly I don't know what I'm doing. As long as I have an idea of what I am doing, you cannot convince me that I don't know what I'm doing. Iwabuchi Onyebuchi, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here this afternoon. Joy Mokeka, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon. Good to have you. Yes, so you have to believe in yourself. You can't be doubting yourself, honestly. You can't. Because you can't achieve anything if you don't believe in you. Even if every other person does not believe in you. Even if the whole world actually does not believe. Going back to the example, like I said, throughout today, you will hear this Hilda Bassey's name how many times from my mouth, because this girl has blown me away. It's not as if people have not been breaking world records. People have been breaking. She's not the first person. Somebody set the record she broke. Somebody set it. But it's something about this young lady that stood out for me is that truly she believed in herself. I am sure she approached many people to sponsor this cookathon. I am very sure she approached several people, and many turned her down. Many told her, in Nigeria, this kind of things will not work in Nigeria. Nobody will support you. You will be on your own doing this. Nobody will be there. I'm sure they told her a lot of things. But she knew that she could do this. That is why she took 4 years to prepare. Can you imagine that? She hired a trainer. She knew that for her to stand for days, she needs to have strength. Physical strength now. She knew she had to have physical strength. And she hired a trainer. And she trained herself. And she prepared herself. And she just, did all that needed to be done ahead of time. So by the time the 5 days were upon her, she was ready. And you could see that she was ready. Because if you watched the videos or the live feeds, you see that she would stand, if when she gets tired, she will shake it off. When they're playing music, she's dancing to the music. She didn't allow that. Of course, her body was telling her, you've stood for 5 hours. You've stood for 24 hours. Should you not rest? I am sure her body was telling her that. But at each point, she would shake it off. I don't know how many of us followed it, but for the first time I followed, normally when I see all these things on social media, it's not my business. It's not my business. Unless I think there's something I can learn from there. I don't spend time following. But I followed this girl till she completed 96 hours and moved on to 100 hours. She believed in herself. It wasn't so much. Yes, people gingered her on. There were people who cheered her on. Yes. But you see, if you don't believe in yourself, no matter the cheers of others, it will not get you to where you want to go. If you're doubting your abilities, if you're doubting whether I can do this, whatever it is, even if every other person around you is telling you, you can do this, this is possible, you will not be able to achieve it. Because inside you, you're doubting if you can. So for you to make progress in life, you must believe in yourself. That is key. Is key. And for you to believe in yourself is not to have false belief. We can have false belief in ourselves. It's very possible. We can have false belief. You've not studied this thing. You know nothing. You have not spent time. You've not dedicated time. You've not committed. And then you're believing in yourself. I don't know how that one works. I don't know how that one works. But if you know you have put in the effort, you have put in the time, you have committed yourself, then believe in your abilities. How many of us go to school 4 years or 5 years, whatever the case may be, and we come out and we don't think we can get a job? Many of us are like that. Yes, the Nigerian economy is like this. Yes, things are hard. But why is it that you think you are the one that will not have the job? Why? It's because you don't even believe in yourself. You don't even believe that you can. So self-belief is very, very important. Chika Oti Williams, welcome. Major, welcome. Good afternoon. I'm glad that you are here this afternoon. So it sounds simple actually to say, oh, just believe in yourself. It sounds very simple. It looks like one of those motivational talks, but it is not. You do have to believe that you can. Because if you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you can't. You see, that's the thing. If you believe that amongst these 150 people that came for this interview, I will prevail, I will come ahead, I will be first, I will be second, whatever. But if they are looking for 3 people, I must be amongst those 3 people. And you have done the preparation necessary beforehand, you will be amongst them. You will be amongst that 3. Because, I think when we talked about visualizing your success, I told us something that even science has proven, that if I keep saying something to myself, I keep telling myself I'm a success, I keep telling myself I am the best there is, I keep telling myself these things continuously, and possibly put pictures before my eyes that represents this thing, and I keep doing it over and over, the brain begins to rewire itself. This is science, proven fact. The brain begins to rewire itself. And as it's rewiring itself, it begins to attach to ideas that will bring that thing you have been saying to pass. Such ideas begin to pop up in your head. You are going about your business doing normal things. And, mundane things, the usual things you see every day. You suddenly see it and one idea comes to you. Why do we think it's like that? It's because you have been saying it and your brain is now rewiring to bring that thing you have been saying to pass. But if you say it 2 or 3 times and you stop, it's not enough time for the brain to begin to rewire itself. No, that is not enough time. So it is very important and very key that we believe in our abilities. I'm not trying to say that when you don't know something, as in you've not studied this, you've not put in any effort into this, you now believe you can. That is not what I'm talking about. That is actually foolishness, truly. It's truly foolishness. If you've not studied this, you've not put in any effort, you've not committed time, you've not committed anything to it, then you claim it. How does that happen? Doesn't. Even God does not support that kind of claiming. Okay, so that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about that you have put in the effort, you have put in the time. Let me give example. Let's say you're doing a business. You've studied the business, you've studied the market, you've studied your prospective customers. You've actually taken time to study it, and then you've presented your product to that market that you have studied, and it seems as if it's not working. Initially it might not work, but if you have truly put in the time, believe in that work you have done, believe in that thing you have done, believe in that effort you've put in, and before you know it, it will begin to show. Or maybe you're looking for a job or something. You're looking for a job. You've finished, you've gone to school, you've gotten your certificate and what have you, and there is no job. But you believe that I am not dunce. I went to school. I am smart. I know something. There is no way. Either you get a job or you find something else doing. The fact is, because you have told yourself the truth, you are not lying to yourself. You're not lying to yourself. You have told yourself the truth, and you believe that the efforts I have put into this thing will not be wasted. It will not be wasted. Remember that if you believe you can, you can. But as long as you believe you can't, no matter what you do, you can't. I hope I am communicating with us this afternoon. I trust that I am communicating. So if you believe you can, you truly can. Sometimes when we hear these things, they sound like just, fluff. These things, they just say motivational talk. They are always saying it. But truly, it works. There was a place I worked, and honestly, when I came into that place, the way they set up, the way they do things, everything was so strange to me. Everything was so strange. And I've worked for years before coming to this place. I was lost. Truly, I was lost, because the processes were all so different. When they are talking about some principles, I've not even heard about it. And I began to doubt my abilities. Actually began to wonder, this school you went, are you sure? These years you have been working, are you sure you were actually doing something? these thoughts came through my mind. And honestly, my boss didn't help either. I will not lie. He didn't help. He kind of kept telling me that I don't know anything without actually saying he don't know anything. But I woke up one morning because I would spend hours in the night. My husband would be like, what are you still doing awake? I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to understand these concepts that I'm hearing. I'm trying to understand these principles. I'm doing courses on Allison, courses on Coursera, to try and understand these principles that are just not making sense to me. And to crown it up, of course, my boss is telling me that, look, you're not meeting up. Ngozi, what is happening? This, that, the other. I began to doubt myself. I began to wonder if really I've not wasted all my years. Good afternoon, Pastor Lattis. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So I began to doubt myself. I was thinking in my heart that maybe I really don't know these things. And the more I thought I don't know these things, the more confused I was becoming. Honestly, I was becoming more confused as they are introducing new things. I'm looking at these principles. I'm looking at the assignment I was given. I have no idea what to do with it. I was lost. But one morning, after having that sleepless night, I woke up in the morning. I looked at myself in the mirror. Honestly, I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, Ngozi, you know something. Ngozi, you know something. You are not stupid. I was looking at myself in the mirror in the bathroom as I went to have my bath that morning. Tears were coming out of my eyes. I was crying because I felt I was failing. But I looked at myself. I said, Ngozi, you know something. You did not waste 4 years in the university. You did not waste the years you spent reading for ICANN and passing the exams. They were not wasted. You know something. Your brain is working. I told myself this in the mirror that morning. And as I was going to work, I kept telling myself in the car, Ngozi, you know something. Ngozi, you know something. Ngozi, your brain is working. By the time I got to the office, it happened that morning I was even supposed to share, because we normally have a morning meeting and you share something, from one of the principles, or whatever. So it was my turn to share that morning. So I shared these things with them, and I was very, very vulnerable with it. I told them how it was with me. I told them how it was happening with me. And then I concluded by telling them that I told myself this morning, Ngozi, you know something. Ngozi, you understand these things. They are not that hard. Do you know that from that point, honestly, from that point, because every morning I would tell myself, as I'm walking through the day, they knew me in the office for always saying, Ngozi. At a point, one of the ladies was always laughing at me. She said, why do you say this thing aloud? Because I actually say it aloud. I'm walking, from my office to another office. I say, Ngozi, you know something. Ngozi, you understand things. I was saying it aloud. They would be like, Madam Ngozi, why are you doing this now? Do you really? I say, yes, I need to say it so that my ear can hear it. Because sometimes we know some things in our heads, but our ears have not heard it. I don't know if we understand what I'm saying. Our ears need to hear some things. I told myself, I kept repeating it. Ngozi, you know something. Ngozi, your brain is working. In the middle of discussions with people in the office, I would say, Ngozi, your brain is working. And it was almost like magic. It felt like magic to me. I began to understand some of those principles that seemed so confusing to me. I suddenly saw that, okay, I'm picking a little. I'm understanding what these principles are talking about. They are not as hard as I thought. Truly, even when my MD will come down and talk, anything he was now saying is in this ear, out the other. Because I have told myself, Ngozi, you know something. Ngozi, your brain is working. You understand. And I began to understand those things. I began to understand them. To the extent that I found myself teaching somebody those things within that period. Shocking to me. Shocking to me. One of the young men that I mentor came up to me and began to ask me questions along the lines of those principles I've been struggling with. And without even thinking, I began to explain to him. Is that day I know that this thing works? Because all this while, I've been reading, I've been doing courses, and I wasn't understanding anything. I couldn't comprehend. I didn't just know the head or tail of these principles. But when I began to explain these things to the boy that day, and I kept on talking, and I kept on talking, and myself, as I was talking, I'm thinking in my head, is this you or is this another person? And I finished explaining to the best of my understanding to him, and he was like, wow, I never saw this thing like this. Do you see that when you believe in yourself, when you truly believe in yourself, anything is possible? It's later on I told that young man that these things I taught you, I just learnt them all. He couldn't believe it. He assumed that these are principles I've been working with. All the offices I worked with, maybe we are old school, obviously. We didn't know some of these newfangled ways of doing things. These newfangled principles, we didn't know them. All this Kaizen principle, there are so many of them. Lean, I didn't understand any of those things. But when I told myself, Ngozi, your brain is working. You know something. And I began to believe what I was saying to myself. Because, when my ear started to hear it, when my ear started hearing it aloud, me say you know something, the brain began to adjust to know something. And before I knew it, I understood these principles. I could explain them to someone else. So you see, when you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Impossibility does not exist if you believe in yourself. Now, this is not me taking away the place of God in our lives, no. But you must believe in your abilities. Even as a child of God, and you claim that God is your father, you are born of God, and then things like, how is it possible that somebody born of God is finding things difficult? Do we see where I'm going here? So in every way it works. Ngozi Abanoilo, welcome. I'm glad you joined us today. Welcome, welcome. So do we see where I'm going with this talk today? When you believe in yourself, you can do anything. Anything. It doesn't matter what somebody else is telling you, truly. Truly. I return to my example, because even as at this time I was feeling that I'm understanding these things, my boss was still saying, Ngozi, you're not getting this thing right. Ngozi, I needed this thing yesterday. Why are you delaying? It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. Why can't you grasp these things? He was still telling me all this all the while. But because now, I have known that my brain is working. I have believed that my brain is working. I was understanding those principles. Maybe I wasn't as fast as he wanted yet, but I wasn't interested in fastness right at that point. Truly, I wasn't interested in fastness. I was interested in understanding these principles, how they work. And honestly, when I began to understand these things, I started seeing that the way he was even explaining it to me was making the thing more confusing. But if I had stayed in the place of ignorance and didn't take out time to work on me, remember I told you I took courses. So I didn't just sit and say, okay, I don't know these things, I beg. I did courses. I registered with Allison, Coursera. Anyone that they mention, I jump in there. I do the courses. I fail. Some of them, when it comes time for the assessment, I would fail. Because these things were not entering. I would fail the assessment. Then I have to redo the course. But by the time I began to tell myself, Ngozi, you know something. Ngozi, your brain is working. I would redo these same courses, take the assessments and pass. What changed? Now, I began to believe in my abilities. I began to believe that God created me well. I began to believe that this brain that God gave me is working. It's working. The brain is not dead. The brain is not dull either. I started believing it. I started believing in myself. I started believing in my abilities. So when the man is talking, honestly, I can't forget that my boss, because really, if I had followed his mouth, by now, I don't even know where I would be, honestly. Maybe, I don't know, because if I followed his mouth, I would assume that I am daft. I would assume that all these years I've been working, I did not learn anything. Ozokoli, welcome. Good to have you here with us this afternoon. So I would have truly believed I did not know anything. But I woke up after doing the, I've done the work, remember, I've done the courses. I now changed and began to tell myself, I know something, and began to believe in the abilities I have in me, and began to believe that my 4 years of university is not wasted, and began to believe that I wrote ICANN, studied, wrote the exams, passed. It's not, my brain is not dull. My brain is working. In fact, most my people in my house, they still laugh at me, because even in the house I used to say, Ngozi, your brain is working. It's funny now, honestly, but then I was going through something. I was going through something, and outside nobody knew. Walking around my house, I'll just be saying, Ngozi, your brain is working. Ngozi, you know something. Oh, Father. So you see that when you begin to believe in yourself, when you begin to believe in yourself, your perspective changes. Your perspective changes. You begin to see things differently. The same situation, when you look at it with the lens of self-belief, okay, somebody is a witness that I used to tell myself, Ngozi, you know something. Yeah, so, your perspective changes when you begin to look at things from the lens of self, how do I even put it, self-belief. Your perspective on things change. The things you see as hard, they become easier in your sight. You begin to see that it's not as hard as you thought. You begin to see the possibilities contained in that thing, in the situation. You begin to see them. They become obvious, they become clear to you. Before, just a day before, these things look hard. They looked impossible. I'm sure that somewhere along the line, somebody told Hilda Bassi, you can't do this, don't bother. 96 hours, 88 hours, non-stop cooking. How? Standing, you can't do it. Don't just bother. I'm sure. I am sure. I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure somebody told her. I'm sure somebody must have told her. But she said no. I'm sure she sat down and told herself, Hilda, you can do this. If not, she wouldn't have gone into the training she did. She wouldn't have bothered, doing strength training, going to the gym to strengthen her muscles and make sure that she can stand. Rare Regal, welcome. I'm glad that you joined us this afternoon. I hope we're enjoying this session. I hope I'm passing across value information to us today. Believe in yourself. Your perspective changes when you believe in yourself. It changes. I can tell you for a fact. And in this process of believing in yourself, you must surround yourself with the right set of people. Please. Don't surround yourself with negative people. In fact, throw away the negative people. Shift them to the side. You don't need it at this point that you're building self-belief. You don't need them. I go back to Hilda. Everybody's talking, oh, Hilda. What of that Chef Sunday, I believe is his name, that was standing with her throughout? Her manager, throughout. Her mom. She had people. She had people that made her believe you can do this. Surround yourself with people that will also make you believe you can do this. Not just, people that are like, you sure say go walk. This kind of thing, they never do them before. We know those kind of people. We know them. Stay away from them at this point, because you're trying to build your belief in your abilities. Remember, I said this is not taking away the place of God. No, it's actually solidifying your place in God. Because you can't believe you're a child of God, born of God, of the same kind as God, and you're happy, you don't know anything, you're daft, you're dumb, you are not able to. It's not possible, because God doesn't have impossibility. There's no impossibility in him. So we, as his children, we shouldn't also have impossibility. It shouldn't exist in our dictionary. So yes, surround yourself with people that will help you. Surround yourself with them. Don't surround yourself with negative people. They will never help your self-belief. Rather, they will introduce doubts. Okay. So, what are we talking about today? Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. As a principle that will help you to grow in every part of life. This one will help you in your career. I've given an example from my career. This believing in yourself will help you in business. This principle of believing in yourself will help you in spiritual growth, because it's believing in the good thing God has done. I mean, God has created me. He did not make any mistake. He didn't make mistake. So if he did not make mistake in creating me, he gave me all I need to succeed in this life. Why am I not succeeding? It's because I've not even believed that he gave me all that. So believe in yourself. Trust in your abilities. Do the work that is necessary. Don't sit back. There's something I told them yesterday when I was speaking in a program in my church. I told them procrastination is not a fruit of the Spirit. Sometimes we think it is. I think sometimes we believe procrastination is not a fruit of the Spirit. Don't put it off. Do it today. Learn that thing, that course. Learn it today. That thing you want, do it now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till tomorrow. Because tomorrow, maybe you've changed your mind. By tomorrow, something else has happened. So do it now. Procrastination is not a fruit of the Spirit. It's not. And it's not enough to hear and hear and hear and hear, and you're doing nothing about it. Don't be, even the Bible tells us, don't be just hearers, be doers. Nike makes it simple. Just do it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. So believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities. Believe that you can do it. Do the work necessary. Do the work necessary. And then step out. Because you see, you've got this. You've got it. You can do it. It's possible. If there's nothing we have learned in this last 4 or 5 days, it's the fact that you can do it. You can actually make it. It's not as hard as it looks. When you start, it becomes easier as you go. Yes, there will be times you want to give up. Nobody will tell you that those days don't come. There are days that the doubts will still come. There are days that your mind will be bombarded with all kinds of information. And this information look real. They look real. And they are telling you that this is not possible. You can't achieve it. You can't make it. You can't go this far. You will not graduate with first class. You can't graduate with a good grade. Let's not even say first class. You will not come out with a good grade in that school. Your business will never take off. They will come. See these thoughts? They will come. They will fly through your head. They will even want to perch. They will want to sit. They will want to take a seat in your head. But the onus is on you to say no. No, I am more than this. I can do this. I am more than able. I can do it. And keep telling yourself, it's not a one-day thing. It's not a one-day thing. You keep telling yourself. And your brain will begin to form those new pathways that makes it possible for you to achieve the impossible. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. I trust that we had an awesome day today. I believe that we learned something. Please, if you learned something, just tell me in the comment section. Let me know that all this energy I've expended this afternoon, all this talk that I have talked is having an impact, that it touched someone. Let me know what you learned from today's session. Let me know something that spoke to you personally. Okay, Charity said, do the work necessary and step out. I can do it. Yes, you can. You can. There is really nothing that's truly impossible. There's really nothing. If you put your mind to it, do the work. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Where most of us, including me as I'm sitting here talking, laziness is one of our biggest problems. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm tired. And see, don't give yourself excuses. I need to say this. Don't give yourself excuses. It's easy to say, but this kind of thing now, nobody has done it before, and so, yes, self-belief leads to my self-efficacy and resilience, yes. Nobody has done it before, so you can be the first. This thing, I've talked to people though, it's not that easy. I agree, it's not that easy, but it's doable. It's doable. Just take the step first. Start it off. If anybody had told me by January that today I'll be sitting here doing session 20 of growth habits, I'd have told you it's impossible. I was discussing with somebody, was it this morning or yesterday? And we were talking. I told her, see, me, I'm not somebody that talks. Nobody will ever describe me as somebody that talks. Nobody. And yet, here I am, every Tuesday, talking. See, nothing is truly impossible. Nothing is truly impossible. Okay, Major says, you won't do or achieve much if you don't believe in yourself. And also surround yourself with people who believe in you. Yes. Yes. Surround yourself with such people. Select them. Select them from the crop. Select them, here. Select them from the crop. Pick them out and relate more with them than with those that will, the naysayers that will tell you can't do it now, it's not possible. How is this possible? People with greater talents didn't do it. Is it you? Has somebody told you that before? People that know more did it, or they found it difficult. Is it you that can now do it? But yes, you can. Yes, you can. Nothing is truly impossible. See that word impossible? It doesn't exist. You can do it. Fix your mind on it. Set your mind. Do the necessary work. Don't skip that step of doing the work. Do the work necessary. Do the research necessary. Do the studying necessary. Whatever is needed, do it. And then step out. You've got it. And God is, there's this song Victoria Orenze sang, and he said, I get back in. I get back in. I have God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. I don't know if we know that song. All of them join. I get back in. No, I get back in. So why would impossible exist? Why would I say I can't when I have this kind of strong backing? So look for those people that will tell you these same things I'm telling you now. Look for them. Surround yourself with them. Surround yourself with them. And you will see that impossible will disappear from your vocabulary. Even your brain will not allow it to exist. Your brain will be coming up with ideas, coming up with solutions, coming up with points that will help you achieve the seemingly impossible. So, do that assignment today. Start that work today. Start that business. Do that thing that has been in your heart to do forever. Start it. Start it today. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off till tomorrow. Do it now. Start it now. Impossible only exists in your mind. The barriers we see, they exist in our minds. They are not physically visible. They don't exist in real life. It's in our minds. So cross those barriers. You can crush those goals. Who said you still can't be, that big person you want to be between now and December? Who said? It's possible. You can. I go back to Hilda Bassi. Who knew her name before? Has anybody heard of her before now? Maybe a few people. Some people may have heard, because I understand, she was a celebrity chef. She has a restaurant. She has acted in some movies. Me, I don't know. But today, I know her. Today, myself, I'm talking about her. All it took was just her to step out and do this thing that looked like it was impossible. You can do the same. Why? You have backing. You have backing. So step out. Attempt the seemingly impossible. You can do this, and you've got this. Thank you for joining me this afternoon once again on Growth Habits with Ngozi. Remember, every Tuesday afternoon, 12 noon, right here on Facebook Live, we are here to share and to journey together. Also, I put a link. Yes, last time I told us we had a Facebook page. Now we have a Facebook group, a group that you can join and you can, interact. You can make comments. I will post things. You can comment on them. You can suggest some things you want to post. It will be approved if it is in line with what we are trying to achieve, and you will enjoy your time there. So the link is also in this live session. I will still put it in the comment section for us. Please go there, join that group, like our page also. We are taking this vision, this thing to the world. Everybody everywhere will know about Growth Habits. We're also on Instagram. Please, Growth Habits with Ngozi. We are on Instagram. Go and like that page. Follow that page. We have to. We're also on TikTok. You see, we are going global. We're going everywhere. We're also on TikTok. Growth Habits with Ngozi is on TikTok. Go there, like our videos, comment, and before you know it, see, nothing is impossible. Before you know it, we have gone global. Every part of the world. Thank you once again for joining me this afternoon. It's always a pleasure to have you, and always a pleasure to spend these 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes with you every single Tuesday afternoon. Thank you, and have an awesome day. Remember, believe in yourself. You can do it. You can do it, and you will do it. Your name will be spread abroad. They will hear of you. They will speak of you, and they will say of a truth, this one is blessed of the Lord. Thank you, and have a glorious remaining day, and the rest of your week. Bye.